Said, a lot going on. Everybody's back. You guys are getting their playbooks. We have our first meetings to make sure everybody is ready. Their minds are right to get started tomorrow, and it's time to practice. So these guys done a great job this summer. We did a few different things throughout the summer. I thought Coach Pittman and the strength staff did an incredible job of just adding some variety and different things into our workouts this summer. And our guys did a great job of attacking it. Simple as that. So now it's time to take all that hard work, apply it to what we do on the football field, and translate that into offense, defense, special teams, and get ourselves prepared for the next practice. That's all we're really worried about at this point. So with that, open up for questions.
Do we don't have a microphone?
We didn't set up the stream, so we'll just go ahead.
All good. Well, talking to some of the defensive coaches yesterday, Caldwell and especially Ambrose were talking about having to right away, maybe play some true freshmen. And I know obviously sometimes that can vary, but this year it seems like you might have to play quite a few, especially on that side of the ball. Is that how you're approaching it? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I've kind of changed my tune on young guys and all that, playing until they prove to us that they can't play. Really, I think that's got to be the mentality. They've been here a month. They've lifted weights in high school. All right, they've watched film. I think these guys are fairly football intelligent, not to what we do yet, but they understand the game. So bring them into play, and we're going to find out if they can. So we've actually changed our practice schedule a little bit. We have a young guy practice, and we have a veteran practice, and that's because we have 30-plus guys that are new here in this program. We want to see them, spend time with them, and let those guys get the reps to see when we come together and practice for, all right, where should this guy fit in? And we've already seen a few guys that we think physically are capable of doing some of the things because of the workouts we put them through, but we haven't seen anybody in pads or anything like that. So it's different. A fifth-year senior, a true freshman, there's a strength. One guy's a little bit hardened up over the years of playing, but at the same time, we've had true freshmen play. They've played well, and if they're capable of playing and they can play at that level, not just to play, because I don't want to subscribe to that we're just playing guys for depth. We're playing guys to go out there and compete at the highest level. If they can do that, then we're going to play them. So I think every guy, there's some obvious positions in there that have talked about depth. We're trying to create that. That's what this camp is about, is creating depth. Well, those young guys are included in that depth.
You said a lot's going on. I'm assuming you just had a kind of team meeting. Is today's report day? Is everybody back? And what's it like for you just to get the guys in the room for the first time to be in this whole process?
Yeah, everybody better be back. Yeah. Some of the coaches are just getting playbooks to the guys right now, making sure they're all here. Everybody will be here. I think this group in particular, they'll be in that meeting tonight, and they're excited to get going. It just means it's here. It means it's time to go practice. We've been talking about, what we want to do going into the 2016 season. We talked about goals, expectations, things we have to get better at ever since we played in the bowl game. And so all that time has been spent leading up to tomorrow's practice. And we go out there and actually get a ball, run around, have a helmet on, and see where we're at, and look at some of the new things we're trying to do, and some of the new faces that we have here as players, some of the new faces that we have that are going through the first fall camp as coaches. Coach Avalos, who's been here before, but as the defensive coordinator. So there's a lot of newness from that standpoint, and I think excitement, and everybody's looking forward to getting out there. So tonight's meeting, the thing about the summer is they've changed. You're actually meeting with these guys through the summer. You're watching tape. It's not like we haven't seen them the entire summer. And so the expectations are there. It's basically, let's go. It's time to go attack.
Part of the hype for a bowl game is that this is the game you carry with you in the off season. If you lose, that sticks with you. If you win, that sticks with you. And then it seems like as time goes on, you kind of forget about that and the effect that it may have had. The dominant performance over Northern Illinois, is there an after effect? Has that carried through? Or is it just
I think it does in the spring. I think at this point it doesn't. Our team has changed so much from the bowl game to where it is now, with so many faces, the things that we've done. the previous year, and I think that's a false sense too, when you have, the talk of so many guys are coming back, but so what? They didn't do anything this year yet. And if you fall into that trap where you have all these guys coming back, you have all this experience, you have this playmaker here. We did, we don't right now. And I think that's the message that we have to have is we don't know what we have until we go out there and actually play. We're going to build to that. We're going to have a pretty good idea leading into that Lafayette game. But the bowl game, hey, that was a great opportunity for us to do some things differently, all right, leading into that game that we were going to use because it was successful. But that game scored whatever. If we lean back on that game right there, we're going to be in big trouble.
What do you make of? You changed your tune about young guys playing. Is that because of the need for this team that may have to have new guys play, or just experience having young guys have success?
I think it's more of just how things are now in college football. Guys are coming into play, and they're more ready to probably play than they were. Need, absolutely. Yeah, obviously you have to say that we have a need for it as well. But to tell a young guy that's excited to come in here and spend 29 practices and say you're going to redshirt, and his whole mindset is, I'm not ever going to play anyway, you're not going to see what they can do. And McNichols is a great example of that. Tyler Horton's a great example of that. You can go on and on. We're going to get these guys ready to play. When they show that they can't play or they're not capable, or we're going to waste an opportunity by playing them, we'll make that decision then.
What do you make for the 11 a.m. start time down in Louisiana for the first game?
Yeah, I found out about that. Right now, really nothing. That we played 11 a.m., which is probably a good thing. We haven't played that early. Might be the earliest game we played in a
UConn
while.
game, I think, was
Yeah,
same
UConn
time.
Was it 10?
It was 10 Mountain Time.
Yeah, so 11 their time again. Is that what it was?
I think it was
Well, noon actually
Yeah,
on the East
noon
Coast.
Eastern, but yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, same difference.
Yeah. So we have a plan for that. To be honest, I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. I saw it come out. I made a couple phone calls on it just to verify a few things, but I've been kind of concerned about it today and just getting that prepared. So we'll be there. I know that. We're ready to go.
You mentioned more interaction with the players, with PRTs and everything, you get a chance. How many stayed? Did everybody stay this summer?
They do. It's actually different. It's mandatory.
Mandatory to stay?
Yeah, these guys are here, and let me say this, even though they changed that rule, nothing's changed. Yeah, I mean, guys are here. That's just one of those, now, somebody has a wedding in the summer, somebody has a they go. And it doesn't matter if they have to be here or not. We still allow these guys to do certain things in the summertime that they can't do during the season. And so we're flexible, but not many guys take time off. We give them some time off, 4th of July break. They just came off a break here of 5 days. The veterans did. So they got some time. And I would say this, I don't think if you said mandatory, voluntary for this group of guys, it would have made a difference. They're going to be here anyway.
How can you expand Jeremy McNichols' role? This season, certainly, last year you had a guy like an experienced guy like Kelsey Young behind him, and there's still a bit of question behind Jeremy this year. How can he grow this season? And can you give him more work?
Yeah, we're going to find out. I don't know. Obviously, I have ideas for that. That remains to be seen. The inexperience and all that. I think every position. All right, that's the way we're approaching it. We got to create depth. Assumed depth is not there. All right, we'll create that. What that means at the running back position, I don't know. I haven't seen Robert Mahone carry football in the Boise State offense yet, or Alexander Madison block Tanner Vallejo. We'll find out what all that means. And it may not go good early for somebody, but at some point they're going to get better at it. So we're going to find all that out. Role expansions and everything is going to come down to what these guys can do and where we are offensively and what we think we're going to be best at.
Would you as a coach rather have a distinct feeling of, I know these are my guys going into the season very early, or do you like the fact that there's going to be competition for spots all the way up to maybe the last week before the first game?
Yeah, competition. You have to. That's just human nature. You're going to make those guys better, all right? Having your boys and all that. You have guys you trust, and you obviously give them respect and everything, but you got to create competition. That's this level of football and really any level. When do you settle? And I guess that's the question there. When do you do that? doesn't go very well when you do that.
Are you keeping track of the Broncos in the NFL? Did you see the news about Kellen Moore?
I did. I called him. I sent him a message last night. Kellen and I had lunch, maybe breakfast a couple weeks ago, and shared a few things. And obviously disappointed for him. I got that last night. A couple guys had told me that he broke his foot, and I didn't. So I called him. I didn't know all the facts at that point, and I found out later. I saw the picture of it. He was being carted off. And speedy recovery. It's football. You know, here's the thing about football. You play this game long enough, you'll get injured. All right, there'll be some type of injury in there, whether it's 8 weeks or 8 days, whatever it is. He got his ankle broken. He's going to have to get that healed and get himself back. And that's really what, for any of those guys, that was the message. Keep your head up. You got hurt. All right, we've been injured before. All right, fight your way back. Get back into the mix. It's just a setback right now. And of all guys, Kellen will come back and he'll be in good shape. It's obviously disappointing for everybody else, but what do you do at this point? Maybe be positive about it, get yourself back ready to go.
There was a recent rule change to Twitter and how you guys can maybe interact with potential recruits and stuff. And just curious on your thoughts on that and kind of, I guess, your approach going forward. And it'd probably be a lot if you tried to retweet every single recruit for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I don't really have it. Right now, I don't really have a whole lot that's changed. We retweet certain things that apply to us. What somebody ate for dinner, I don't even care what I ate, so I'm not going to retweet that. These recruiting it's about relationships and all that is what it is. So we would like to talk to these guys. The texting rule, I think it made everybody nervous. That's actually been a good rule. It's a conversation piece, but it can save time for coaches that are recruiting multiple players to also communicate with them. The social media probably helps not the coaches as much as it does the media, the fans. People that are interested in who you're recruiting will follow the coach and he'll tell you exactly who he's recruiting through social media. So I think it kind of opens up a little bit of a scary circumstance for some people getting on these kids' social media sites and becoming part of, hey, I'm a Boise State whatever, and it's not the coach, and all of a sudden, they're part of that too. Probably not in a bad way, not being harmful, but after a while, these kids, you can only live on that stuff so much. And if you're checking your notifications and retweets all day long, you're probably not going to do well football-wise. You're not going to do well in school, and it's all going to catch up to you. And so I think the kids themselves, I've got kids myself that are Instagram and those type of things, and it's limited. All right, they have a certain time that they turn their phones in. I think the parents and people have to monitor that, otherwise this can get out of control. And it's going to happen probably with the seniors now. They're probably okay. These juniors, where we're going to be able to start texting them on September 1st. Juniors are getting all this attention and absolutely love it. And you're going to be texting them and that's going to be, how are you going to get better from your junior to senior year where it really matters if you're focused on all that? So I think we just have to be careful with it.
With Brett, you look at where the last year, kind of his evolution. How much better is he prepared, I guess, for tomorrow than maybe this time last year, and just what are you looking out of him?
Yeah, he's better prepared. He understands how to prepare. He's obviously went back, and the thing about Brett's got a very low ego, high output mentality. But he'll go back and watch. There wasn't always good things. Whatever he was voted on his freshman year, all right, you know what? That has nothing to do with how we're going to learn at that position and what we're going to do moving forward. We're looking for progress at the quarterback position. So he's made that through spring. He's made it through the summer. He understands better. He has a better grasp of what we're trying to do. But we're still going to do different things. We haven't had our hands on them football-wise since the end of spring. So we've changed some ideas and thoughts that we're going to do for the first time here in the next couple of weeks. He'll be challenged.
How has he changed physically?
He looks, absolutely. He's put on some weight. Body fat's dropped a little bit. Just maturity. His strength is up. Speed is up. And that's that difference from true freshman year It's amazing, these guys, we look at it with our NFL guys, because they leave here and then we see him like he's even that much bigger, and we thought we already had him pretty big when he was here. Well, then they're 23, 24, 25. You see these guys at 25 that have been lifting, and then again, these high school kids come into college, the college kids are all bigger, so they naturally adapt. You go to the NFL, they're all bigger, they adapt. And so he's just done that. He's physically changed because the guys around him and all that. So I think that's going to show up in the plays.
You played.
He's going to take his greatest strides this year.
I hope in every area. I think he's, my opinion, he's got a lot of stuff to work on and get better at. All right, and that's just playing that position. His biggest strides will come in his consistency in all those things. I think that'll be his biggest strides. Are there things we're going to be able to get to faster? How do you play action? All right, well, we spent an entire season doing that and drilling it. Probably day one, he's going to have a pretty good idea of what that is supposed to look like, but when we go film it and we slow motion it and we look at it, is it going to look now like Peyton Manning, the way we want it to look? That becomes the next challenge. I say Peyton in that aspect. All right, play action, but that's kind of what we compare some things to. We want it to look like that. So fine-tuning some things, and then much improvement in other areas, and just his consistency every day of working on those things, and us helping him do that.
You were a quarterback here, and you've coached quarterbacks here, and you've been around so many of them. How does Brett fit what a Boise State quarterback is?
He cares. I think I'll put it as simple as that. He cares, and all those guys. And when I say that, that's all the lonely hours that nobody ever talks about. That's the one thing. All right. When we're here at 9 o'clock at night, and there's a blue light on in the quarterback room, and all the other lights are off, and people are shutting down, and you walk in there, and he's not looking at the doorway, and he's looking at film. Okay, that's what guys that want to be successful, and you can say in football and life, it doesn't matter. That's what they do, and he certainly has shown those qualities from that standpoint. And to me, that's for any player. Hey, if you care, if you really care, I'll screw up a ton. I certainly care. We're gonna work this thing out. We're gonna make it happen. And that's definitely something that he's shown. And those guys in the past, those quarterbacks, that excellence, as we kind of describe it as, it comes down to things like that, that are not on the weekly plan of you are here at this time. That's on your own time.